Thank you. Thank you, veterans, for your service to our country. And thank you for helping me with that. Okay, we got another veteran coming up here. We've got a guy that's a native Texan, comes from a long history of military guys. He was a Navy nuclear engineer for 2 years before discharge in 1997 related to some injuries he was sustained there. He was a member of Mensa with a 1580 SAT score, the highest entrance scores in the history of in naval history. Spent the last 12 years fighting the VA system. Help me welcome to the stage Mr. James Lightfoot.
Hello, hot enough for you? My name is James Lightfoot and I'm a disabled veteran. And I'm not here to talk about what I did in the military. I'm here to talk about what happened to me after I got out. There are millions of disabled veterans out there and they all have their own story about how they got that way. But we all face the same thing as a result, and that's the VA healthcare system. When you get injured in the military, they do their best to take care of you. But when it becomes evident that you've got a career-ending injury, life becomes a lot more uncertain. They promise you everything will be okay. They promise you that the government's going to take care of all your needs. They promise you that you'll have access to the best health care available through the VA. Well, as it turns out, availability is very limited on that offer. Now we've got a Congress and a president that's promising the same kind of benefits to everybody else out there. And I just felt it was my duty to come out here and tell you all just how well the government keeps those promises. In the VA, on average, it takes us between 6 and 12 months just to get a scheduled appointment to see a doctor. And we don't have a choice on scheduling that appointment. We get notified by mail to show up whenever it's convenient for them. Can't call the doctor, can't call the clinic. You show up or you don't. And if you have a problem between those 12 months, they say you just go to the emergency room or wait your turn to see a doctor when you're scheduled. So every time a veteran gets the flu, they either wait 6 to 12 months to get medical care or they go to the ER. Well, I went to the ER a few times. One time in 1998, I waited 14 hours in a waiting room. Then a nurse comes out and says, everybody go home. We're not seeing any more patients today. Try back tomorrow. Good luck. Another time, I actually did get into the ER. I was having a severe neurological problem. So the ER doctor summons the attending neurologist to treat me. Well, this young woman who showed up was a third-year medical student at Baylor College of Medicine. She told me she intended to specialize in neurology one day, but had never taken any classes on it yet. I was told then, well, it doesn't seem to be a seizure, we don't know what it is, but go ahead and go home. No diagnosis, no treatment, no follow-up. That's it. This is a recurring problem at the VA because it's primarily staffed with third-year medical students doing 6-month rotations as part of their education. The government doesn't have the resources to hire the doctors they need to take care of all the veterans that they've promised to care for. So they can script these med students that are half-trained and put them to work doing jobs that they don't even know how to do. God help you if you need specialty care. Because they're not going to tell you if they don't have such a specialist on staff. And they're not going to tell you if the clinic is backlogged for 3 years. They're just going to make a referral and send you home to wait. And wait your will. Because even the most common specialties that people use all the time, dermatology, podiatry, stuff like that, you'll wait a year or more after a referral is made to see a doctor. And the more obscure the specialty is, the longer the wait. My primary medical condition that I'm treated for is chronic pain. I waited 3 years after a referral was made to see the pain clinic, suffering unbearable agony the whole time. But by far, the worst thing I've encountered at the VA is flat-out refusal of service. On 4 different occasions, VA doctors have told me, the VA doesn't have the resources to help you, go seek treatment elsewhere. In fact, in 12 years, the only treatment I've gotten is when I went to a private doctor and paid for it out of my own pocket. Because everybody knows that the VA doesn't pay the bills they send it to them. And you can't get insurance when you have a pre-existing condition like all of us disabled veterans do. And everybody assumes that you've got free health care because you're a veteran. Well, let me tell you about free health care. It's worth every penny. So, when the government starts making promises, I want you to remember how well they've kept those promises to our veterans. I wouldn't wish government-run health care on my worst enemies, much less my friends and family. Bad enough that us veterans have to suffer through this. The last thing we need are more victims of national health care. Thank you. Have a good day.